welcome to the Real Estate Pro Radio Show. This is your host, Amber Arms, and we have with us today Patti from Norristown, Pennsylvania. So tell me a little bit about yourself. Who's Patti the person?
Well, it's interesting because I'm a realtor. It is so much of my life, honestly. And of course, I am a mother of 6 kids and 4 grandchildren, 3 dogs, 1 cat, and real estate is mostly what I do. It pretty much consumes my life. But I do, I like to travel when we can. Just got back from Mexico, and so we like boating. We have a place at the shore, and we like boating and things like that, water activities.
Well, I'm sure all the kiddos keep you busy too, so.
Well, they're all grown.
That in real estate.
Yeah, the youngest will be 21, so we're kind of out of that baby phase.
Well, that's good. You're in the more self-reliant phase where you can kind of take some time for you now.
Yes, I hope so.
Definitely nice. Well, then it sounds like you've been in real estate for a while. How did you get into the industry?
Right, 26 years I've been in real estate. And I got into it, I've always been in service-oriented industry. I love people and I love to work with people. And my mother was actually in real estate. And at the time, I was a hairdresser before I was in real estate. And at the time, things have changed a lot in that industry also. But at the time, it was hard to make a good living being a hairdresser, and real estate provided the opportunity for me to still serve my customers, my clients, and be able to make a good living at it while maintaining flexibility. And I have with all the kids, you kind of need that. So
absolutely, yeah, you need that. You need that stability and that consistency that you can rely on.
Yeah, and the flexibility, right? I raised my kids with, I didn't, they went to preschool, things like that, but I worked it out so that I didn't have to put them in daycare, and not that I'm against anyone that does, but, for me, it was just a personal choice of not really wanting to, have them in daycare full time. So
absolutely, yeah.
It worked out well.
Well, it definitely sounds that way. We're going into a new year here with 2022. What would you say that the market looks like it's going to be this year?
The market is like the Wild West. It's so, I'm not even kidding you. Last weekend, I'm sorry, it was 2 weekends ago now, but I listed a property, and really, when you list a property, you almost can't do anything else because you're going to be fielding phone calls, and we hold it off for the whole weekend before we accept offers, give people a reasonable chance to see it, and then so 3 or 4 days, and then we'll review offers. So in the 3 days, I had 99 showings and ended up with 22 offers.
That is insane.
It is unbelievable, honestly. And, and I was in the market in 2007, so when it was really crazy then too, but I don't think it was quite like it is now.
Yeah, it seems like it's been really on fire over the past couple months or so. It's been absolutely insane.
Yeah, it's great for sellers. It's extremely challenging for buyers.
Yeah, understandably. It seems like that the industry, as far as what you have available, is definitely very limited right now. It's definitely seller's market, sounds like.
Definitely. Yep, for sure.
And do you see that continuing into like 2023 or 2024? Do you think that's going to be like just in the next couple of months, that's going to be what it is?
Well, listen, it's purely speculation on anyone's part, but I think that what's driving the market is the limited inventory. And I just don't see that changing. Plus, that coupled with the fact that we have 2 million people a year pouring into the country, I think that it only stands to exacerbate the problem. It depends on, obviously, what happens. The Fed, they keep talking about raising the interest rates, which might slow it down a little bit. But I just don't know. To be honest, I almost think that it might continue. I just can't imagine how it could continue because, it'll become so unaffordable to live anywhere. But the truth is that I don't see why it would change right now. I don't see anything coming along to change it.
Right. So you think it's going to stay this way for at least a little while yet?
I think so. I think so. I can't see what would stop it. We're at least in this part of the country, we have a real housing shortage. It's a real thing. And I think that, at some point, something's going to have to happen so that they make it easier to develop certain areas or, there just has to be a way to add more housing, really. And that's, in order to remedy the problem.
Yeah, and that's not exactly something that's going to go up overnight either. That's
right.
years worth of time that you're going to have to wait for it to finish construction. At maximum, you're thinking at least 6 months minimum.
Oh my gosh. The problem, and in order to really have real solutions to the problem, could take years. Really, because you can't just let areas become developed quickly because you have schools and, the infrastructure and, of course, the community resources and all that stuff have to also be upgraded in unison with that. So, I think that it's just something that's going to take some time. The urban sprawl will just continue and, people will just go out further and further. And really with the change in the workforce, I think COVID has changed the workforce and a lot of people work from home now. I really have, I have a listing appointment next week with people who can work from anywhere now. So it doesn't matter if they live here, and actually the house with the 99 showings, same thing. They're going to have their same jobs, but they're going to have those jobs in South Carolina instead of sitting in the snow in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, a lot more flexible as far as where people can work.
Yep, absolutely. So it's, it's interesting. The world is changing.
It is, yeah. Talking about change, how would you say things have changed over time since you started, 26 years ago? That's quite some time ago. How have things changed?
It really. So for me, I would say one of the biggest changes has been in technology. It's been, first of all, the way we operate as agents, but also the technology, and with the internet, Zillow, Realtor.com, those websites the public now has a lot more information. And so it is interesting because people come to you already armed with some knowledge. They're not so ignorant to what's out there and to the process. But what remains the same in that is that they do still need agents. They do come armed with some information, but the truth of the matter is that I don't think that people know what to do with the information they have. You know what I mean? Like you have all this information, but you really, they don't really know how to apply it to a situation.
Yeah, they still need that guidance to be able to help them walk through the process. I feel like a lot of people, they watch HGTV and they don't really understand just how complicated buying a house can be, especially for first-time home buyers.
Yeah, so, true. For any home buyer, there's always caveats and hurdles that need to be overcome. I had a friend, that kind of wanted to debate the really the need for realtors. And I think, well, listen, I do a lot of real estate and I operate at a high level. And, and the stuff that I deal with, just really on a daily basis, I just think, what, you think you can just do this on a computer? You can't just, I just keep saying, sure, let your computer handle this issue. You know what I mean? There's always things that need to be overcome. And, it's, so no matter how much, some of the websites try to act like the realtors are not necessary, they're so wrong.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot that has to do with experience. Being an agent and in the field, you see a lot of things that, the everyday person doesn't see. So knowing how to react to those situations and how to handle them is
and having the resources, knowing
having the resources. Yeah,
sure, where to find it, where to find the information, how to, who can help you with this, and it's it's important. Yeah, experience is dear in this business.
This episode is brought to you by We Insure Center of Chester Springs, Pennsylvania. With access to over 200 carriers, We Insure is ready to service all of your insurance needs for home, auto, business, life, and more. Simply call 484-207-6640. Again, that's 484-207-6640, or visit WeInsureCenter.com. Get your free quote today. And so there is quite a few agents, in Pennsylvania and across the nation. What would you say people should be looking for in a good real estate agent to be able to tell, this is someone I should, have help me figure out what house to buy or how to sell my house?
Sure. Well, I think obviously, the first most important part is finding an agent that you can trust is, very important. And also that you feel comfortable with. It's this can be an emotional experience, and, and there can, listen, every now and then you get these perfect, easy deals, but not always. And so, you want someone, I think experience is super important, and I think you should really, be with an agent that has your best interest at heart.
Right.
You know what I mean? And also one other thing, I have a friend in the industry, a different sect of the industry, and I always say, am I the one, why do I always have these deals with these challenges, And I said, is it just me? And he said, you end up with these deals all the time because you don't give up. Most people will just let these deals go, but you never give up. And so I think tenacity is high on the list of important traits in a realtor.
Basically, you want someone that's reliable, somebody that's going to keep going to bat even when things start to get a little bit complicated or, inconvenient.
Sure. And be willing to do that. It's, it's very hard work when you want to, do your best to make sure that every deal gets to the settlement table, if at all possible. I have a really good track record in that. But it's, it's not perfect because perfection does not exist. But, you want someone that really cares about your needs. I think that's important. They care about your needs, that they're available to you to answer questions. And, it's, people write me letters sometimes that just about make me cry when after a transaction, because they, I can't believe you talked to us at 12:30 and, at night. Well, you do whatever it takes. You want somebody that cares about you, and you want to know that you've been cared for.
Yeah, that's a really beautiful thing. Knowing that you're able to help someone, and this is a really big investment for a lot of people. This is the biggest investment that most people will make in their entire lives.
Yes.
So having someone that can help you get through it, that emotional process, this multi-month long process to be able to get situated is really important.
Sure. Well, and It's interesting because my kids have watched me go through the process, and and I'm sure that at times they didn't understand why. We're on vacation. Why do you have to take the call? Why do you have to do this? And then one of them became a financial advisor, and I said, so, they're giving you their life savings to invest, right? Do you feel the weight of it? Like, you should feel the weight of this. This is a big, it's a very important thing. People are relying on you, and it's very important that you feel the weight of it. And I said, now you're going to understand why I always take the call, because I feel the weight of the responsibility to people. And it's, and you should.
Absolutely, yeah, you should.
Yeah.
And it's a very valuable part of a good agent, I'd say.
Sure. Yeah.
And what would you say the biggest what would you say the biggest challenge your clients are facing in today's market?
Well, for buyers, just being in such stiff competition. I mean, you have buyers right now that are what you would consider A+ buyers. They have, they're, good credit, good income, good, assets. They're, they're ready to go. They're great buyers. But nowadays, when sellers have to choose between 20 offers, 22 offers, 30 offers, they're getting beat out by somebody that's got cash or more cash or better income, or, but they're just, this is really that's a real challenge. And right now for sellers, you have people that would be willing to sell their houses, but they know, they're starting to really get an idea of what's going on in the market. And then they're, they're scared to
move,
put their homes on the market because they don't know if they're going to be able to buy a house, going forward. I mean, it's, that's a real challenge for people right now. Being the one to get the deal,
Yeah, I could definitely see how that would be nerve-wracking, with all of these houses. When you get 20 offers on a house, that's really hard to compete with. And if you're selling a house, you got to have someone go, especially if you've got kids, you got pets, you can't just stay at a hotel or something. So It definitely complicates matters for sure.
Yeah, it does. Yep, sure does. But, but we're working it out. We just work it out every day, and, you just get through it, whether you pray for the best, set up certain contingencies, temporary housing, whatever has to happen. I'm seeing more and more people move back in with their parents while they look for houses, because you cannot, in this market, if you have to sell your house in order to buy a house, if you have a home sale contingency, you're just severely disadvantaged right now. So, people just have to really know how to navigate the market.
Yep, and that's one of the most invaluable things you can have, having someone at your side that can just be able to guide you through that.
Absolutely. Yep. And so that's what we do. That's what we do. It's just do the best. We just do the best we can to help people through the situations, whatever they are.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, listen, Patti, it's been amazing having you on here, and I don't want to take too much of your time, but if someone wanted to get in contact with you, if they wanted to get a house or they wanted to sell theirs, how would be the best way to contact you?
Well, my cell phone is always on. If you didn't get that message from what we were talking about, it's always on, and I always answer it if I can. If I'm not tied up with somebody else, I answer, or I would get back to you right away. Would you like me to give you the number?
Yeah, absolutely.
Sure. It's 610-420-7321.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much, Patti.
Yeah. And also, honestly, if you Google me, you will find me all over the internet. And I spell my name with an I, so it's PattiTabor. And so I have a website too, which is www.pattitabor.com.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate you taking the time out of your day to come on with us today. And
My pleasure.
wish you a wonderful rest of your day.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. I hope you have a great day.
Yes, you too. Have a good one.
Yep. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.